Okay, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna get real close.
Hello. Hello.
Oh my.
Welcome to another episode of FanCast Fridays. It's your boy Neth here with the boys.
What up? It's your boy Cash Money. It's Bryant.
Hey guys, this is Cody.
Hey guys, this is Mario signing in. What's up?
And the guy behind the scenes, Rezo.
Rizzo. All right, guys. This week's another fun one. We are talking about our disappointments and surprises of this season. So we're going to each go back and forth with our 3 disappointments and then our 3 surprises of this season.
Of the NBA season.
Of the NBA season. Thank you. All right. I'm going to start things off with my disappointments.
Who are you disappointed in?
I'm going to start off with the golden boy, Lonzo.
Steph Curry. Oh,
What? Why would I pick Steph Curry?
I thought he's a golden boy.
He's not the golden boy. Anyway, Lonzo.
He's on the golden team.
He's on the golden
I
team.
thought that's the same thing.
It's not the same team.
Who's the golden boy?
Lonzo, I just told you.
Oh. Wait, why are you disappointed in Lonzo?
Lonzo
first
Ball.
disappointment. Who is your second disappointment?
My second disappointment is the Celtics organization.
Just as a whole.
As a whole, just disappointed.
Okay.
Wait, I thought what?
And-
No, but you're supposed to be picking players, not teams.
Well, there wasn't I tried to just pick one, but they were all such a cesspool of disappointment after they went 24-4. So I thought the fairest thing to do was just to call them all shit.
In what way? Explain that. No, explain that.
Well, he has
glad you have.
a third disappointment coming first, which at this point I'm hoping is the Cavs organization by
What? Don't play yourself. Don't play
by
yourself.
these standards.
The-
You're talking about
the
Yeah, by these
biggest
standards,
disappointment is Kawhi Leonard.
The man who was
This
injured
was
half
the-
the season.
First off,
Exactly.
he's been medically cleared for weeks.
Yep.
He is shutting himself down. It's just like Jimmy Butler going to the All-Star game and deciding not to play. Except worse.
He didn't
Now,
really
just
decide
gonna quickly-
not to play.
I'm
He
going to quickly
played
touch
41
on why
minutes in the
the
previous
Celtics
game
are
before
so
the,
horrible.
before the All-Star game. Like, come on.
No, that's irrelevant.
How is it irrelevant? It's an All-Star game. Why injure yourself? You just played 41 minutes in the game before the break. Take it easy. It's an All-Star game, guys.
The point of this All-Star break or this All-Star game was for everybody to care and to play hard. So if you go into it being like, hey guys, I'm just actually not even going to try to play. You could have even gone out there and played 3 minutes. You could have literally broken a light sweat. It's the All-Star game. Nobody would have attacked you because you would have been like, hey guys, I'm just here to fill my obligations. Let's not try to embarrass each other. 3 minutes done. But you
More
took
important.
someone's spot.
Kawhi Leonard has absolutely been a disappointment this season. This year was supposed to be a breakout year for this guy. You know what I mean? All the expectations were on him to really blow up this year. And he hasn't played. He hasn't done anything.
Dude hasn't played a second.
And that's disappointing. To me, that's disappointing. It
By
doesn't matter.
choice.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if he's been hurt or not. He claims that there's still something not right with his quad or whatever he wants to say. Point is, he hasn't played in probably what is supposed to be his real big coming out party.
He has played this season.
It's breakout year.
He hasn't played a lot, but he has played this season.
Yeah, barely. Barely.
What did he play? 13 games?
I don't know exactly. He played for a couple weeks, and then he claimed he re-aggravated the injury. Pop said the other day he doesn't expect him to be back this season.
That's disappointing.
I'm justified in this disappointment. If I was a Spurs fan, that's like LeBron saying, hey guys, I'm going to take the season off.
Yeah.
In all
Your
fairness,
foundation piece is not
we
playing.
don't know what this man feels. This man knows his own body. We don't. Now, I understand that if you're a Spurs fan, it's disappointing not to see this man, but I would rather him get healthy, and then see him for the future rather than tear up his quad, tear up his legs, and be out for multiple years.
For the future on another team. The way that he's handling this with the Spurs organization, I feel like he's gone.
He might be.
No, I don't think he's gone yet. I think Pop wants him. Pop's not gonna.
Pop wants him.
Pop wants him.
Kawhi has one foot
I think
out the door.
emotionally he's out. I think he's done with Pop's system. Real quick though, nobody's talking about the ultimate disappointment, Lonzo Ball, because he is not the best rookie on his. I just wanted to make this clear. He's not the best rookie on his team.
He's
not one of the top 10 rookies in this league, and he's
a
walking.
He's a rookie. Rookie the NBA.
Then Donovan Mitchell's going to be in the Hall of Fame if we're judging everybody by
exactly. But we don't judge everybody by.
We do that when your father says
it's not his fault.
Going to be.
It's not Lonzo's fault. Lonzo will be an All NBA team player within 5 years.
Look, time will tell. Brian, who's your disappointment?
Wait, you didn't go into the Celtics organization and why they were disappointing. Explain yourself.
It's a hot topic, a hot button topic for Cody over here.
You can't just say that and be like, yeah, no.
All right, give me 30 seconds to break this. Here we go. So you have the Cavaliers' second best player. You have all the hype. Everybody's behind you. And you run into the issue of you bit off more than you can chew. Kyrie Irving is amazing, but he is still Kyrie Irving. He was amazing and never could carry a team. You have two great rookies, yes. Actually, sorry, one great rookie, one second-year player who are phenomenal, but who are both running into the midseason wall. They're not prepared for this occasion. The only break that I'll cut you is that Gordon Hayward got hurt early.
The person who was supposed to help carry the team with Kyrie, the catalyst of this team, and then you're going to say that this team is a disappointment? They lose.
And I will. Let me finish. You didn't let me finish. Now, they are a disappointment because if they went into mediocrity, I can't judge them for that. They're a victim of their own success. They weren't saying, oh, this is found gold. Oh, this is unsustainable. Cody, you were right there with everybody, riding the wave when they were being amazed. And now that they show you the actual team that they are, I can say I'm disappointed. Because for a third of the season, I was sold a bill of goods. And for the second third of the season, they have been mediocre at best. Their standard is beating the Cavaliers and LeBron James. They don't look like they're able to do that. The Raptors are a better team than them. The Raptors.
Raptors are a better team.
The Raptors are a good team. Yeah. I don't know why you're talking about that.
Last year, the Celtics still had the best record in the East. They're getting embarrassed in terms of play compared to the Raptors.
And the Cavs didn't get embarrassed through the last third of the season. Cavs played like trash. Like garbage.
Let's address that. I didn't want to go into that, but let's address that real quick. So, did the Cavaliers play horrible basketball? Yes. But let's put in the time frame of which they played horrible basketball. In the last 3 years, they have always been horrible in the month of January. Is this the worst iteration of that? Yes. But look at the new pieces that they had and that the pieces weren't actually cohesive. Also, a lot of those pieces were coming back from injury. So you had the same issue that you have every year, just a little worse because your personnel and personalities were not the same. So I can't judge the Cavaliers of being worse than they usually are when every January they go through a significant slump. What else happens is they trade at the end of January and they become a juggernaut in the Eastern Conference anyway.
They played what, like 4 games with those people? Like, okay, here's my issue is you cannot call the Celtics team a disappointment. As you are a person who consistently says everybody is building for when LeBron leaves, okay? You literally say this about every single team, basically.
And I get walked back on that.
Okay, but that's not my point is you're being a hypocrite. You're claiming that this team has been a disappointment for building a future around various people. So this team that loses a superstar player in Gordon Hayward performs well for some facet in which nobody is saying, oh, this team is definitely going to beat the Cavaliers or anything. Like, I think no, there wasn't.
We're not listening to this. They were ranked above the Cavaliers for months.
Everybody's saying anything that this team does at this point is a success.
Who's saying that?
Everybody.
Cody, hold on. You're gonna tell me that you were never buying the hype when they were on their winning bonanza that they're gonna contest with the Cavaliers. They might be able to beat them. You're gonna say that to me now with revisionist history.
Say that what? I was behind the hype?
That you were not buying the hype.
No, I'm not going to say that.
Because you were buying the hype,
right?
right?
Straight games to start the season. It was amazing. But just
Exactly.
because now they're not winning every game, it's disappointing.
I didn't say that they're not winning every game. I'm saying, look, we're spending a lot of time on this. We should have another segment devoted to this. My disappointments are my disappointments, and I'm glad that you guys disagree.
A team that has struggled with injuries, a team that
the Cavaliers haven't struggled with injuries?
Chemistry, a team that is still building chemistry. Do you call it disappointment? No.
I just put somebody on my disappointment list who is actively saying that he's struggling with injuries. Injuries is not the end all be all. But anyway, I digress. Brian, what are your three?
Okay, so my first one was I completely agreed with you. I put Kawhi Leonard down.
Thank you.
Number two might be a little shocker. Actually, no, I'm going to skip to number three and leave number two for last for the shock value. Number three for me is J.R. Smith. I think that's fairly obvious for a lot of people.
Nothing but a disappointment.
Yeah.
No, I almost went out and bought a J.R. Smith jersey shirt after they came back and won.
I agree. He's having his worst season.
Disappointing.
I agree that he's having his worst season. I just don't think that he's all that.
And here's
he's doing JR stuff. He's feast or famine.
Here's my number three. Here's my number three. Mr. John Wall has been a disappointment to me.
The Wall star.
Yes. Okay. So
the all-star.
So let's start off with J.R. Smith. He's shooting sub 40% from the field, 39%, 37% from three. That's pretty average. An abysmal 66% from the free throw line. And he's averaging 8 points a game, which is like 6 points less than his career average.
Does he start?
Yes, he starts. He plays like 26 minutes a game.
Yeah, exactly. This man starts. This man is disappointing. I agree with you 100%. When the Cavs were really struggling back in the early season part, I think he was a big reason. He was a big thing that people were pointing to. A lot of people were pointing fingers at JR, and I agree. I wanted them to trade JR. I'm shocked he made the cut.
Dude, I can't believe it. I cannot believe that JR stayed on that team.
Nobody must have wanted him. That's the only excuse.
Yeah, absolutely. But obviously, we'll go to the big name that I put down there. That's Mr. John Wall. Okay.
How can you say John Wall is a disappointment?
Okay, so it's not specifically anything to do with John Wall's numbers, because his numbers have pretty much been right on with all of his career averages. It's just the fact that the Wizards look better without John Wall. The Wizards have played better without John Wall. And if you look at John Wall's demeanor when he's been on the court this season, he just looks disappointed, just like he doesn't want to be there. And I don't know. I think I don't know. John Wall.
It's a Patrick Ewing effect.
I mean, he's an all-star. What else did you want? He was playing at an all-star level, and his team was winning.
Before the injury, but I think a lot of that's because of name as well.
But how is that a disappointment to him? He got hurt, and his team is playing well.
I want him to carry the team.
You want him to carry the team.
He's hurt.
How would you feel?
He was.
I understand that he's hurt.
LeBron went down. LeBron was just like, guys, I'm taking this next game. I'm going to take these games off. And the Cavs exploded. Cavs went on this win streak, and it was all without LeBron. Would you be disappointed in LeBron?
I wouldn't be disappointed in LeBron.
You would.
Why would I be disappointed in LeBron? That has no bearing on LeBron.
No, but really, like, I expect John Wall to carry this team. He's been there since he was drafted, and he's clearly the veteran presence and the superstar on this team and the leader. And when you don't have the presence that LeBron has, or the accolades that LeBron has, I expect you to bear a little bit more of the load when things are going well without you.
I just think that's a little unfair because his team was doing well while he was there. They were doing okay. Level.
They were doing okay at best. They were not looking like any sort of threat in the playoffs.
And they look like that now?
They're blowing out teams. Yes.
Maybe they look like a threat to Miami, but not to the top 3 teams.
I mean, who's the top?
I can respect that. I can respect that. I said the Celtics. You said John Wall. Everybody gets a mulligan.
I don't think Brian uses mulligan. I think you use Brian's and Cody's and my mulligan.
I stand by my Celtics.
I mean,
I like Cody.
I haven't done yet. So
Cody, let's hear him.
Let's hear
him. Number 1, I got Miles Turner.
Huh.
Okay.
Guy had Miles Turner, 13.5 points, 6.6 rebounds per game. This man last year was at double-double level. Okay, he ran the Pacers, and this year he has struggled to look like anything but a reserve level big man. According to his own expectations and what he's shown he can be, he has really struggled. Second, I got Malcolm Brogdon.
Okay.
Could call it sort of a sophomore slump, but I think it's just a guy who won Rookie of the Year who's kind of struggled to further establish himself in the backcourt where he clearly could thrive, but he is just, he isn't getting shots down. He isn't getting shots, and he's not even the best guard on that team. Third and last for my disappointments is Brook Lopez on the Lakers. Yeah.
I never expect much from the Lopez.
I never expect much from the Lakers right now.
Look,
how can
Brook
you
Lopez had
anything?
shown in the past, especially in Brooklyn, that he could put up some numbers. Okay, as a center, he's averaging 3.8 rebounds per game. As a center,
yeah, he's not.
Yeah, but when you got Lonzo stealing your rebounds,
point guards average more rebounds than that. 11.
Lonzo steals rebounds.
3 rebounds. Lonzo hasn't even played for half of the first season, so I don't even want to hear that excuse.
He just got hurt.
Yeah. He's been on and off throughout the first part of the season. He missed like a good couple weeks. Maybe
the more
half.
I see Brook Lopez's stats, the more I agree with Cody. He's been disappointing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
look, the Lakers are where aging centers go to die. Hashtag Dwight. He wasn't an aging center. That was his prime. What are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
He left
so
his prime.
Centers go to die.
I said where aging centers
every
go to
day
die.
You're aging, Nathaniel.
I hate you.
Well, I mean, Mario's not wrong.
He is, because my statement was aging centers. Wait,
yeah,
what?
but you're always aging, right? I mean, he's right.
Yeah, Dwight wasn't
That's
really
a better
old
word. How about
either.
older centers?
Because Dwight's playing pretty well in Charlotte.
Dwight came back rejuvenated.
They went there to die, and once he leaves there, he'll be better.
It's the fountain of youth.
So.
Anywhere else is the fountain of youth. All right, Mario, lay it on me.
All right, 3 disappointments. I'm a fire matcher, then tell me why I'm so right, guys. Number 1, Isaiah Thomas. This dude went from an MVP candidate last year. Now he's Lonzo's backup.
Is he Lonzo's backup, or is Lonzo his backup?
No,
Lonzo's
he's off the bench for Lonzo.
Lonzo isn't even the best point guard on
overachieved
his
this year.
team because Isaiah is the better point guard than Lonzo.
All right. Who's number 2?
He's the backup.
Let's hear
Number
it.
2, Markelle Fultz.
Okay,
This
fair
dude
enough.
was the coveted first overall pick. It was unanimous, a no-brainer. Dude hasn't played a game all year. Dude forgot how to shoot a basketball through a hoop. That's disappointing. But again, I'm trusting the process. As of right now, I'm disappointed. Last but not least, Gordon Hayward. Gordon Hayward was supposed to come, and the Celtics were supposed to dethrone the Cavaliers and LeBron this year. And what happened? Gordon Hayward has 2 points, 1 rebound all season. I'm disappointed.
Okay, so let's take a quick timeout here.
Why do you hate
Let's-
injured people?
Like,
I'm disappointed in them.
Okay, so me and Nathaniel took a layup by putting Kawhi Leonard on our list, right? Because he's been hurt and whatnot. He hasn't really played. Mario just took 3 fucking layups. Right now. He picks
did.
Isaiah Thomas, who's played like less than a
month.
dozen games. You pick Markelle Fultz, who hasn't even touched the court. You pick Gordon Hayward, who horrifically snapped his leg.
Which I'm disappointed in.
I mean, these are all like, you're not wrong. You're just an asshole. Like,
Yeah, like can you pick guys who have played and have been disappointing in their play, not guys who have just gotten injured? And
I am
not-
disappointed in
The
this play.
only
I haven't
person-
seen any of it.
The only person you
I
can
saw
say
some
that
of
about
it.
is IT. Because when he did play, although he was
poor.
coming back from injury, he wasn't spectacular.
It was not
I
spectacular.
agree with IT because his
Markelle
shooting
Fultz.
percentages were really bad.
Not spectacular either.
Markelle Fultz, I am gonna like save what I have to say about Markelle Fultz because it leads into other various topics of conversation that we have lined up.
Ooh.
So just Mario, come on. Put a little effort in.
Look, what do you expect from this guy? All right,
I'm
moving.
disappointed.
Look, it's time for you to get surprised. Because
Or impressed.
Or impressed. Because these are my picks for the most impressive players / teams of this NBA season
Let's hear it.
thus far.
Let's hear it.
All right. First and foremost, the Houston Rockets
All right, just as a whole.
as a whole. I was consistent. I picked one team.
Yeah.
The second is Victor Oladipo,
Yep, good choice.
and third Donovan Mitchell.
Man, you love Donovan Mitchell so much.
Yo, I've been hyping Donovan Mitchell from the gate.
You
All right, well, let's start with
You
the
love
Rockets.
Donovan Mitchell because LeBron loves Donovan Mitchell.
First,
Okay.
nah.
Because he's on your fantasy team. That's why you love Donovan Mitchell.
No. Donovan Mitchell is amazing. But let's start with the Rockets.
Let's.
All right, so who thought the Rockets would be number 1 in the West? Who thought the Rockets would have the second best offense?
My hands up.
Let me finish.
My hand is up.
Let me finish. Who thought the Rockets would be playing top 10 defense?
Okay,
Who thought the double guard combo of Chris Paul and James Harden would work as well as it is? It's freakish how good I think they've lost a total of 4 games together.
They lost one game when healthy.
When completely healthy, 1 game. That's amazing. I don't think anybody thought they would be this good.
I mean,
That's number 1.
I look at it, and if you look at Chris Paul in D'Antoni's system is like a wet dream. You know, it's so perfectly designed for what Chris Paul and James Harden do. It's hard to imagine it not working.
Mm-hmm.
I had a feeling that it would, they would at the very least be the 2 seed in the West. And I don't know. The defense is definitely impressive. Defense is 100% impressive.
All right.
I mean, I think
Second,
the team as a
Victor-
whole is impressive. The team as a whole is impressive, but it's not surprising to me. Like the first few points you made, they didn't surprise me. The Rockets number 1 in the West. Yeah, that's fair. Top 2 offense, fair. The defense, like Bryant said, is surprising, but for the most part, I think that was what kind of expected.
Do you think they're
Phil's
going to
expected
run
that they would be the best? Because
Do you
people were hyping up OKC.
Well, here's the
I was
thing.
never buying the OKC hype.
No, I never really bought the OKC hype either.
A lot of people did.
Those people were wrong.
Here's my question. Do you think they're going to run into the same issue that the Celtics ran into last year, where they're just burning themselves out in the regular season, and then come playoff time, they're going to be out of gas? Because
I don't think
you have James Harden who's playing 42 minutes a night, and Chris Paul, granted, he's getting the rest that he needs, but as a whole, that team's putting in probably a lot more effort than teams like Golden State are putting in right now.
I think you have to look at where the team is. I see the Rockets being where Golden State was 3 years ago. This is when they're young enough, energetic enough, and it's fresh enough that they're going to be putting in that effort, and it's going to carry them through. These guys are, for the most part, very young, in their primes, and this is their run. Most teams in this position, they don't fizzle out. The real teams anyway. And I think that this team is the real deal. The only X factor to me is if James Harden will show up when it counts the most in the playoffs, but that's yet to be seen. That'll be my biggest surprise.
The only concern to me is how much they rely on the three-point shot. Because I think I've watched a handful of Rockets games. When their shot's on, they can't be beaten. But when their shot is off, man, do they look ugly. So I guess it's going to depend. Are they going to be hot or are they going to be cold? Because, man, when that shot is off, if they're not shooting threes, they're barely scoring.
I think when the three doesn't fall, what they do is they get the free throws. They take the high efficiency shots.
That's not enough. I've seen games where James Harden's gone 7 for 27, and, man, do they look bad.
Did they still win that game, though?
No.
No,
they did
Small
not.
sample size. They don't lose very often.
All right, who are you talking about next?
We are talking about Victor Oladipo. I'm going to put this into context, please. So Victor Oladipo leaves the factory of superstars, which is OKC. If you think of that team and the straight all-stars that they've produced in the past, 8 years, it's amazing. Reggie Jackson did the same thing a few years back. If you compare their seasons, it's staggering. All right, Victor Oladipo went from averaging 15.9 points to 24.4. Now, you might be saying his 1 year in OKC, he took a dip, but he was actually very consistent. The year before in Orlando, he averaged 16 points a game, so he went down by 0.1. All right. Compare that to Reggie Jackson, who actually had a worse season. He got hurt the next year, didn't make the All-Star game, and dropped in points from 14 to 17. Going off of somebody who set the precedent before you, reaching this level, almost doubling your scoring potential and your net rating, I think he's the person who switched teams who has done the best and taken the most out of the opportunity.
I don't think anybody saw this coming. Everybody thought the Pacers got swindled when they traded away Paul George for Victor Oladipo, and for Victor to come out here. Great pick.
Thank you.
Yeah, he put in a ton of work in the offseason. I don't know if you guys saw his body transformation photos from the beginning of the offseason to the end of the offseason, but dude got jacked. Dude got friggin' ripped. And I think it's really coming through that he really put in a lot of work in the offseason. I think he was quoted in a few interviews saying, a few years ago, I didn't really know how to work in the offseason. I didn't know how to get better in the offseason. And he started working with some people, I think, who worked with LeBron and people like that. And, hey, he's killing it now. Killing it now. Good for him.
Who's your third one?
My third one is the Rookie of the Year, Donovan Mitchell. This man
he's okay.
He's okay?
What heck was he?
Don't even. All right. Donovan Mitchell is the best rookie by far. Ben Simmons is not a rookie. You don't get a year
Ben Simmons, a rookie.
to build on your body, to learn the NBA game, to just redshirt, to come back and just be like, hey guys, I'm a rookie. He's a rookie. What if he was hurt for 3 years? He comes back with a more developed body, and you're like, oh man, this guy's a rookie at 24. Get out of here. This man's 19.
Everybody gets one.
Oh, come on. Donovan Mitchell is dropping 40 points, leading his team to only 2 games away from the playoffs in the West. The quote-unquote rookie of the year, Ben Simmons, can't even maintain. I don't think he's going to maintain the playoff seeding in the East. He's leading his team 40 points a game. Donovan Mitchell is the second coming of Kobe. You heard it here first.
So wait, you're telling me that Ben Simmons can't lead a team into the playoffs, even though his team is currently 7th seed, while Donovan Mitchell's team is currently the 10th seed?
I would argue that it's not Ben Simmons is it's not Ben Simmons carrying them. It's Joel Embiid, who is having a far better year than Ben Simmons.
I wouldn't say a far better year.
I wouldn't say a far better year either.
He's having a far better year.
Ben Simmons is having a pretty great year.
Ben Simmons is pretty phenomenal year.
How is it compared to? He is leading his team to in the West, which is an automatic 5 to 7 point
that
boost.
Doesn't mean anything anymore.
He is leading his team in the West
to a 10th
into
seed.
the playoffs.
They're not in the playoffs.
To a 10th
The Jazz
seed.
are not in the playoffs if the season ended today. Also, you said Donovan Mitchell averaged what, 14.6 points per game? Ben Simmons is averaging.
No, that's not what I said.
How many points?
He said 40, but he's averaging 19.6.
He's averaging 19.6.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, that's such
Mario. Oh no! Oh no!
Yo, but how many rebounds is this boy averaging?
Okay,
Rebounds? What?
don't be calling that. Ben Simmons like 6'12".
3.5.
Damn right, 3.5.
All right.
And
He's
3.5
leading his
assists
team.
as well.
When Rudy Gobert went down, when Rodney Hood was hurt, when oh my gosh, I can't remember that other. When multiple people on his team have been hurt, a rookie has been the stabilizing force of a team. That's amazing. In the West.
Stop saying in the West. It doesn't matter
Doesn't
anymore.
mean anything anymore.
What do you mean it doesn't matter
The
anymore?
East is good too now.
His team in the East would be in the playoffs.
They would not.
They would.
They would not.
The Utah Jazz, maybe. They still have a chance to
Look
make
at
it.
it, look.
I don't. Okay. I don't know if they have the tiebreaker over Miami. They have a tied record with Miami.
Oh,
All right. So look, Nathan, I'm going to go next because Nathaniel, you brought up 2 guys that were on mine. So it'll be just a simple, we're going to go through. So I have 4, which works. Because Nathaniel, we had
4 is only 3.
We had 2 of the same. Me and
Oh,
Nathaniel did. We already talked about
me?
Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell was on my list. I agree with you.
Okay.
Surging rookie. Probably the front runner for rookie of the year.
Damn straight.
He stepped up after Gordon Hayward's departure. I think he kind of like took that city needed something after he left, and he has filled that role and given them a spirit. He's going to be a great person to watch in the future. He won the dunk contest. Dude,
Yeah, he did.
got some skill.
That doesn't mean anything.
He's got some skill. I mean, it means something.
LeBron never did it.
That's true. All right. Obviously, the second one, Victor Oladipo, also had on my list, but I feel like that's an easy one. You said why? Also in the dunk contest. I don't know. Maybe there's a theme here.
He did the Wakanda dunk.
What does that mean?
he did.
He just had
Put
a
on
Black Panther mask.
And
He
then
did a
That's
regular
not
ass
true.
dunk.
dude's been absolutely amazing for Indiana. Next, I got a guy that probably not many people know of, but he has been killing it this year. Enes Kanter for the New York.
I did not know who Enes Kanter is. Enes Kanter was the heart and soul of OKC when he was there. This man borderline teared up when he got traded away.
I hate his
This is the
face.
number 1 LeBron troll.
I hate his
Every
face.
time LeBron messes up, he's on Twitter hard.
But his face isn't what needs to impress you, Brian. It's his stats. He's got 14.4 points, 10.7 rebounds, averaging a double-double on a team that arguably started the season with a decent amount of front court depth. And now he's one of the few because Kristaps went down. Hernan Gomez, they traded away. So really, he's kind of the only guy there now, besides like Michael Beasley, but he's not really a big man. But Enes Kanter, been really surprising this season. And then last, Nikola Jokic.
Okay.
Denver Nuggets.
That's a solid pick. I love him.
Fastest triple-double in NBA history. Dude's been putting up.
That's a very specific stat, but okay.
All stats are specific.
I will say that he's kind of like the best player on a bad team. So
it's like Gallinari.
Yeah, so I'm not taking anything away from Jokic. He's definitely played
the fact that you are.
He's definitely played very well this year, but I could see him falling into obscurity on another team where he's not the first option.
Really? I don't know. I mean, I feel like
I don't think so. He's one of the best passing big men that I've seen. He's huge in a league where huge and skilled shooters is at a premium. I think whatever team he goes on, he's going to be a marquee player. Unless he's on LeBron's team, then he's going to be the third option.
It's going to be like the 9th option.
Oh my gosh. Nobody's replacing Kevin Love.
All right, Cody. Those were all very respectable choices. I was honestly expecting you to take one of my choices because I picked a Celtics player.
Yeah, I didn't pick any Celtics. You guys thought I was going to pick. I didn't pick any.
It's shocking.
I was waiting for it. All right, so my first pick is going to be one Jaylen Brown. My boy. Ooh. I'm hype on this guy.
Yeah, good choice.
My second choice is LaMarcus Aldridge.
Ooh, I like that pick.
And my number 3 here is Tyreke Evans. So
I like that. Good choice.
So we'll start with Jaylen Brown, stepping up huge when Gordon Hayward went down. He's averaging what I think is actually kind of impressive, an exact even 14 points a game on 45% shooting, 37% from 3, 5.4 rebounds a game, and a couple of assists a game. I think he's stepped up huge since everything happened in the first game of the season, Mario.
All right. Still disappointed.
His game is really expanding. He's not just an athletic guy who can slam the ball down. His jump shot's really starting to develop. I will say his free throw percentage is awful. It's 58%, which I just don't understand how you can shoot almost 40% from 3, but can't shoot over from the free throw line.
I will say I've watched probably more Celtics games than anyone's here. And the reason I didn't pick him is because where I see him struggle is his defense. His defense is really not that great, and he commits way too many fouls. Now, his offensive game has been amazing, but he has fouled out of, I think, 3 games this year, which is unnecessary. It's a lot of, especially as a guard. I can see why a big man would foul out, but Jaylen Brown, he's a little bit too handsy when it comes to fouls, and it hurts him because it will cause Brad Stevens to take him out in games where he, had he not had that many fouls, he'd be in there kind of contributing. But offensively, I can't disagree with you. He has stepped up with Hayward's injury, and he's looked pretty good. But I just see he still has some work to do on his game.
I agree. He's stepped up, but he has still have work to do. The whole team isn't playing really good right now. It looks like they're not walking, but running into a wall in terms of, I don't know, fatigue. I think that's the only real way because it's the same team. Outside the Marcus Smart, the only thing that could explain it is just fatigue. So if after the All-Star break they pick it up, then
they've had a tough schedule. I think it'll turn around. Teams have had a chance to rest. Guys have had a chance to kind of get healthy. I think the second half of the season is when teams will start to show who they really are.
For sure. For sure. All right, let's move on.
I think LaMarcus Aldridge is a great pick that you mentioned, just because his first year in Pop's system, he was really disappointing. Yep. And I think an interview came out where Pop was saying, I'm used to working with these younger guys, people who just come into the league, where someone like LaMarcus already had a style already developed on offense. And so Pop was just like, LaMarcus, you do you on offense. And he did. And now he's looking great.
Yeah, I really didn't see this coming. That after the whole kind of controversy at the end of the first season with LaMarcus being there, that he really criticized the Spurs for not utilizing him properly. I was like, okay, here we go. It's just going to be a nightmare for the rest of his time there. But no, him and the organization both handled it really well. I mean, he's shooting 50% from the field, 32% from three, almost 33%, which is like 5% higher than his career average. He's shooting 83% from the free throw line, which is really good. He's 22.4 points per game, which is like 6 points above his average. He's killing it, man. And, he fully deserves.
Do you think that this is...
Go ahead.
Do you think that this is also having to do with the fact that Kawhi is gone?
Absolutely. He's definitely going to take a jump. Like, his shots are going to go up. Everything like that is going to go up. But he's doing it and still being efficient. You know what I mean? He's still putting up a good amount of points while getting the ball in the basket a reasonable amount of times.
He's been a good veteran presence there for sure.
I mean, this is his last run.
Yeah, probably.
He's 32. Is it his last run?
He's going to be on contract until he's like 34, 35.
He's got time.
As a big
For
man?
a big man, he's getting out. Yeah, for a big man, I think his age is.
Yeah.
And then
Just
the
makes
Spurs,
what he's doing more
he's
impressive.
in one of the better places to possibly get a ring. Couldn't be in a better system.
100%.
Now we're over to our last guy here that I'm just so happy for. That is Tyreke Evans. This man was in Sacramento. They used him as a point guard, and he killed it. He's a little undersized to be a shooting guard, but he's oversized at the point guard position. So if you put him at point guard, you can utilize his skills more, his ability to handle the basketball and jump over people. And that's what's happening over here in Memphis. Shooting 45% from the field, almost 40% from the three, 39.5. 79.5 from the free throw line, 19 points a game, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. He found a system that's really working for him. And I'm rooting for Tyreke. I love it.
Almost moved at the trade deadline, but he stayed put, and probably for the better because he's in a good system.
Yeah, anywhere else that he would have moved, I really feel like it wouldn't have worked out.
Yeah, you got to know how to utilize him, like you said, and Memphis does, and it's working out. So
I'm not sure if this is more him than the system. I think that Memphis is a good place for a point guard, especially a large, stocky point guard. I think Mike Conley isn't the biggest point guard, but he wasn't somebody that you could push around. It's a very point guard-centered offense, working in and out with Gasol. Am I surprised at his production? Yes, but I don't know. There's a part of me that really likes the system more than the player. If next year he keeps up this production, he'd validate it.
Mike Conley's
the guy's
6'1".
impressed.
We're talking about size, not height.
I don't think Mike Conley's that big. I think that this is Tyreke Evans just finding a system that he's thriving in. I think it's credit to both. I think that the system works with Tyreke, and Tyreke crushes it in the system. I don't think we can only give credit to one here.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
When Mike Conley come back, what do you do?
He ain't come back. Man's out for the season.
He's coming back next year. What do you do?
What do you do? I have a soft spot for Conley. But Conley's getting old.
You bench him? You bench Conley? Brian, what do you think? You bench Conley?
You move him.
I think they could work well in some sort of tandem. I know Tyreke
Chris Paul thing.
James Harden thing. Well, I think one of them has to come off the bench.
Yeah, one of them got to come off the bench.
And I think Tyreke
man of the year.
I think Tyreke Evans could run a second unit pretty well.
All right, I guess so. I mean,
trade one of them and get a piece for the future. If you're Memphis, because are they competing now? Probably not.
No.
I think you trade Gasol. What?
Yeah,
but
he's an old big.
It's every trade him to Los Angeles so he can die. Send him to the farm.
I mean, you could, but they don't have anything good left.
Trade him to San Antonio so he can play with pal.
Oh.
That'd be nice. But I think you trade that big man for a versatile wing and picks and build for the future.
I agree.
Like
All right,
LeBron.
Mario. Who are you impressed by, my friend?
All right, let's bring it home. Number 1, Spencer Dinwiddie. D'Angelo Russell went down, and Spencer stepped up, averaging 13.6 points per game, 3.3 boards per game, 6.7 assists per game, shooting 38.8%.
If you say things emphatically, it doesn't make them
38.8% from the field?
From the field.
Ugh,
That's really bad.
that's awful.
That's very bad.
Yeah, wait, that is really
That's worse than JR.
But you said it emphatically, so you thought it sounded good.
Yeah, you thought
Yeah,
it was
exactly.
great.
I wanted
This
to
man
mask
doesn't
that.
know that high numbers are better.
Doesn't matter. Next up, Kyle Kuzma, the best rookie the Lakers have today.
Fair.
Okay.
I agree with that.
He's averaging 15.7 points per game, 5.9 boards, only 1.8 assists. That's why you still have Lonzo.
And 16% shooting.
45%.
I'm gonna say as a big man, I hope it's higher.
Okay. And last but not least,
Let's hear it.
the crown jewel of impressiveness. Joel the Process Embiid.
How are you impressed? I don't understand.
He fought because he's healthy. What do you mean? He's finally healthy. I'm
That's
impressed.
fair.
He's finally
That's fair.
That's
That is
fair.
impressive. That is impressive.
healthy. I'm impressed he's been healthy this long.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Yes. You can't tell me what impresses me. This impresses me that this man's been healthy. I'm shocked. I'm floored.
He's
I'm
also
impressed that
played.
you're
He's
impressed.
played pretty.
I'll
He's
take it.
played tremendously. So I think
Yeah.
that's fair. I'll give you that one.
He's definitely played well.
23.7 points, 11.1 boards, 3.1 assists, shooting a phenomenal 48.7 percentage.
Wow.
Field.
He's Joel Embiid to me. And
And he
an
did.
all-star.
Thank you, Renzo.
And he's an all-star.
Joel Embiid to me
Absolutely.
is the modern day Kevin Garnett.
But better.
Wow.
I disagree on better. We will
Definitely
fight about
not
this
better.
Time will
another
tell.
time.
Time will tell.
We will fight about this another time. He's the modern day Kevin Garnett in terms of, he's got a lot of ability, but he also talks a whole lot of smack.
Backs it up, though.
And it's just fun to watch. I miss that. I don't like the NBA where everybody's just best friends. I like the NBA
Boring.
where
The Banana Boat League.
somebody's calling somebody a bitch, and it's
Brian
just-
doesn't like friendship.
I don't like friendship in the NBA.
Friendship's overrated in the
I don't
NBA.
like. I don't like.
That's why this man
friends.
kicked me out of his wedding.
Yeah, man, I'll do it. Step out of line. Watch what happens.
Bring back the Larry Bird and Magic Johnson days.
Right?
Yes.
Where
Renzo.
everyone just hated each other. Everybody just wanted to beat each other more than anybody else.
I think there's a fine balance. There
No,
needs to be a
There's
fine
no
balance.
balance. I
No.
want a battle
All friendship
royale.
out the window. I want Malice in the Palace every other night.
Oh, Mouse
You
and
want Gilbert
Palace.
Arenas going to the arena with like Tech 9s on his.
I want this man strapped.
You want some Ron Artest fighting the
Yeah,
fans?
you want some-
Yeah, Malice in the Palace, where Ron Artest was over here punching people in the face.
Oh my God.
Somebody
The
throws
best
a
part
spear
about
at
that,
him.
he punched the running fan.
He did. That poor guy. He was just like, no. I
sure that
just
fan
wanted
loved
your
it.
autograph.
Oh my God.
I do admit it's much more exciting with that for sure.
It is
That's
much
it.
more exciting,
That's what I'm
but
impressed with.
Spencer Dinwiddie, I don't know why he's on
Terrible
anybody's
choice.
list.
Terrible
When he-
choice.
That bad from the field.
Get out.
Yo, because I'm impressed with him. He's someone I never heard of before. Someone went down and he stepped up.
There's a reason why you never heard of him.
And the reason why when that person gets healthy again, you'll never hear about him again.
His name is fun to say though. His name is very fun to say. So
His name reminds me of the guy from Transformers.
Sam Witwicky. I was
Witwicky!
just
Oh my
going
God.
to say that. I knew
Oh
it was a
my
Shia LaBeouf character, but I
Shia
could not-
LaBeouf. I'm like, I couldn't remember the actor, the Holes
Oh
guy.
my God. And as far as Kuzma goes, it's just all right. He's a
There's
player.
no
on
Donovan
the,
Mitchell.
he's a player on a team that's not
Donovan
very good.
Mitchell. We will not
Yeah, but
hear
he's
his
a
name
rookie who
mentioned
came
next
out of
year.
nowhere to be the
Well-
best rookie on his team, better than Lonzo. So I'll give you that, Mario. He's
I
gonna
would
be.
I would
You
have put that Bulls rookie, or is he a rookie? That Bulls
Dunn?
player.
Oh, Laurie Markkinen? Oh, yeah, for sure.
I would have put Markkinen.
That was a good pick.
I agree that Markkinen is better. I didn't want to put 2 rookies, so I didn't use Markkinen, but he has – I'm big on Markkinen. Well,
yeah.
And Markkinen also played well during All-Star Weekend.
Those
Did
gosh
really
darn Europeans being
He
so good
almost
at shooting
won.
the basketball.
the skills challenge.
Being 7'4".
7-4 and amazing. Well, guys, thank you for joining us for another episode of FanCast Friday.
Woo, woo, woo.
Stay locked into our Twitter accounts as we will be putting out our weekly posts as always. And you know what? We want to know who your biggest surprises and disappointment of this season so far are. Tweet us and let us know what you think. As always, this is FanCast Sports, where the fans speak. It's your boy Neth with the crew. Let's do it one more time.
Hey, it's your boy. Check out my new album on SoundCloud. Bewitz, what up? Don't really. No, it doesn't exist. Don't look for it.
This is
Guys,
Mario.
Cody,
Thanks for listening.
tuning in.
Oh,
Tune in next FanCast Friday for another FanCast Friday.
Always a pleasure, guys. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you for that Larry Bird time in. That was really good.
I like how Nate just like sensually talked into it. Just like, hey, thanks for having me on.